A terrifying story from the Swiss Alps during World War II. The story below allegedly took place during World War II in the Swiss Alps. The account comes from a man who claims that his grandfather was there in a company of British soldiers who, in the winter of 1943, were stationed in a remote mountain village in Switzerland, located in the Alps, and where around 500 people lived. The area was extremely isolated, and the whole situation was complicated when a blizzard swept through the region, blocking all roads, but also communication lines. Otherwise, the British soldiers were left without contact with the outside world. As the weeks passed, the winter became more severe in the region. Sunlight was present here for only a few hours a day. In this icy, dark atmosphere, with chilling winds, strange things began to happen in the town. The villagers began to complain that since the British troops had arrived, items such as tarpaulins, wood, and other valuables had begun to disappear from their homes. The British captain asked his men if any of them were involved in the theft, but no one admitted to anything. Everything became even stranger when a child disappeared. The villagers began to search for him, but they found no trace of him. It was thought that the child had been an accidental victim of the snow, but other children began to disappear as well. The terrified locals began to believe that perhaps a mysterious wild beast or a pack of wolves was hunting their children. So to help them, the British soldiers began to make armed night patrols through the town. However, the children continued to disappear, and then one night, one of the British soldiers disappeared from the barracks. His name was Reginald. The most superstitious began to believe that an evil and supernatural force could be behind these disappearances in the middle of the mountains. Spring finally came, and the heavy snow began to melt. In total, there were 7 missing children, as well as the soldier, Reginald. Then, during a night patrol, something strange happened, and the witness's grandson recounts the following. It was past midnight when my grandfather and his companions noticed a creature looking out the bedroom window of one of the villagers' houses. My grandfather was at the opposite end of the street, so at first the creature looking out the window did not see the patrol. My grandfather and the other soldiers shouted at the creature, and it immediately moved away from the window and began to run. Everyone on the patrol was sure that it was behind the disappearances. They ran as fast as they could through the snow, chasing the creature. When it reached the edge of the village, it jumped into the ground, and the soldiers soon realized that it was a cave that had been hollowed out sideways through the snow. The soldiers unloaded all their firearms into the cave. Then the narrator explains, my grandfather took out his flashlight and noticed that the creature they had been chasing and shooting dead was the very soldier Reginald who had disappeared a few weeks before. In the cave were the bodies of 7 partially eaten children. Probably due to the stress of being stuck all winter in almost constant semi-darkness, or because he had mental problems, Reginald went crazy and began to enter the houses of the villagers, kidnapping children from their homes in the middle of the night. He would then kill them and secretly take the children to the cave he had carved in the snow.